family. Dina Jolie here, aka SirenbellaSays. I am on my way to the city. It's Friday, it's rush hour, and I have this nifty contraption that I picked up from Five Below, and I figured, what the hell, I'm gonna see if I can't use it to position my phone and get a little vlogging action. So I am due in at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is now 5. I give myself like a good hour and 15 minutes to get there. By the time I park, smoke a cigarette, maybe have a drink, it'll be time for me to go in. This is my second Friday night. I feel like I finally, picked up some of my wind. I worked quite a bit this week, and I feel like my stamina is going to be a lot more thorough because, goddamn, I was fucking beat. I was beat last week. So, as many of you know, I recently went back to work. I had a series of unfortunate employment events, and, I don't know, like when I graduated university last year, I don't know what I thought. Like, I didn't think I was going to go rushing into my field, which is in human services. But I knew that it was definitely on the table, and it kind of took off the pressure of working in the restaurant industry, because I figured, what better time than now to, find the 9-to-5, get the health insurance, blasey fucking blah. But the reality is that it's just not calling me. And I don't know if I don't know what it is. It's like this thing, I've been working in restaurants I started my first restaurant job was at age 14 at Chick-fil-A, illegally nonetheless. That was really short-lived. I got fired because I kept eating the chicken nuggets. Wasn't crazy about the fries, but goddamn, those chicken nuggets were delicious. And then like at 15, 16, I started working at Frankenstein, and then at 18, I got my first serving job at Ruby Tuesday, and I was with them for like 4 or 5 years, and that's where I first started bartending over in good old Springfield Mall. It was those are the times. So you figure that was like in the late 90s. Here we are in 2018, and I am still bartending. I've done the management thing. I've done the serving, worked a heart of house, and the truth is that I really, really love this industry. I love hospitality. I love the money. I love the autonomy. I love the spontaneity. I love people, I love people, I love food, and I love drinks. And so, combine that together with some good music, a really chill atmosphere, and, working among people who really enjoy, doing what they do. Like, this shit is fun, And, if you had told me at 20 that this is how I would feel at 40, I would have laughed at you, because 40 felt like so old. But now that I'm in my early 40s, like, I couldn't feel any younger. And I don't even mean younger like physically, because I honestly feel like your body's gonna reward you. Your body's gonna reward you. Like, if you treat it with kindness, if you exercise in moderation, if you do things in moderation, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, the payoff is sweet. And, back in the day, there was a stigma, like, if you were at my age and you were still working in restaurants, like somehow that you had failed somehow. But as a single mother, someone with the type of personality that I have, which, is borderline insubordinate in the sense that, like, I don't like to be micromanaged. I don't like working with 4 managers that have points to prove. Add that I'm a woman, add that I'm a woman of color, add that I'm a queer woman, add that I've got a shit ton of fucking experience. Like, when you spend 25 years in restaurants, you don't get a fucking PhD. If I took this 25 years and had invested it as an engineer, as a professor, as law enforcement, agent, like, I would probably be collecting my pension right now, and I would be writing books and doing tours and, giving talks on how to excel in the industry. And a lot of people ask me if, owning my own restaurant or bar is, a goal of mine. And frankly, it's never really been my thing. Like, don't know, like, I like to run shit, but it's not necessarily important for me to like have my name on it or be the one that's totally in charge. Like, I like being the face, you know. I like building the relationships and, you know, bringing people back. So anyhow, so this place that I'm at now, I used to guest bartend there. It's actually where I met my current partner, and he worked there for like 5-6 years, and I worked a few doors down, and I had just gotten out of, you know, a really tumultuous, fucked up relationship. I'd fallen off the grid for about a year, and then just one day I realized it was time for me to get back out there, and I answered an ad on Craigslist. This device keeps triggering my signal. I answered this ad on Craigslist and, you know, requested an interview, went in, ended up trialing for a few days, and even though the owners were fucking creeps and weirdos, like, I was just so excited to be back in the city and back, you know, behind the bar. So I used to go into the Whale before my shift, and I would, you know, with the hopes of having a glass of wine, and they never had my wine. So this, you know, young, handsome guy with like the most winning smile, he introduced himself to me, and he's like, you know, let me just make you a drink. And he made me this like super sweet vodka rum beverage that was far too sweet, and it always gave me gas, but I never let him know that. He would find out very soon though. And that just became our thing. I would come in, have one drink, and then he would do what was called a fire drill, and he would, you know, leave his bar for a couple of minutes, come in, you know, pound a Natty Light and a shot of whiskey and go back. And that's kind of how our romance blossomed. And, you know, soon after, I think that was May, two years ago in May. So it wasn't long before we actually, you know, started dating exclusively, quote unquote. And, you know, before long we, you know, had 2 dogs, 2 guinea pigs, you know, an apartment, then a townhouse, you know, he has a son, and, you know, obviously I have a son from a former relationship, and, you know, that was the story. So now he no longer works there, but that's now where I work. I'm behind his bar. So there's a sweetness to it, and there's also a sadness to it, because the reasons why he no longer works there is because the restaurant changed hands. The GM that had been there for many years, a really, 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 really cool guy, great industry professional. His name was Wiz. He was a little bit younger than me. I think he was 30. He was 38. He died in his sleep. This was almost a year ago. And after that, things got really wonky. No one really stepped up to run the place, and I guess the owners ended up making a series of really fucked up decisions and ended up having to sell. And then the new owners came in and didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and so now it's under new ownership again. So the people that I work for are super cool. I don't think that they're necessarily industry professionals as for by way of restaurant, but they are definitely professionals. They're definitely business people, and they, you know, I think they've got some money to invest. And when I reached out to them last week, I legit just sent an email. I was like, hey, you know, this is who I am. I used to guest bartend, and I would really love an opportunity to come back and talk to you. And they invited me to come in that day, and so worked for a couple of days, sort of on a trial basis. And then they, you know, they asked me for my information, and, you know, I'm officially a member of the team. So it's kind of a cool story, you know, things coming full circle. I totally believe in that. And there's also, you know, a lesson there, which is, you know, if you're someone who's looking for a job, you know, you can't wait for people to come to you. You know, you've got to have the confidence, even if you've got to fake it. You've got to have confidence in your abilities, you know? You don't have to sell yourself if you genuinely possess the capabilities, or even just the desire, and, you know, the desire to succeed, the desire to grow. And people, the right people, can read that shit. So, you know, yes, you know, you can, you know, send out emails, and yes, you can send out your resume, and yes, you can have, like, you know, the fanciest cover letter, but sometimes keeping it simple and just keeping it really, really human and genuine, you know, it resonates with the right type of people. So, you know, get clear in your head the kind of environment you want to work in. You know, it might not be like your ideal workplace, but at least get your, you know, your both of your feet in the door. Get yourself to a place where you can, you know, stack your money, stack your confidence nonetheless, because the longer that you're out of work, like, that shit really wears on your confidence. And so I just recommend, like, if you're in a rut, get clear the type of environment you want to get in, really see it in your head, and start behaving like it's already there. Like, this isn't just some wonky, like, brouhaha shit. Like, this is some real shit. You can't you can, but the outcome's not going to be good. If you keep sending conflicting messages out into the universe, like, it just confuses. It confuses. And, energy responds to energy, and, energy frequencies, play well with like frequencies. So if you carry yourself, like, if you get up every day and you get in the fucking shower and you brush your teeth and you put on your face and you put on your clothes and you act like you have somewhere to go, the universe is going to respond by giving you somewhere to go. So, it might not happen overnight, but I promise you it happens a lot faster than you think it does. So, and this can apply to any aspect of your life. It can apply to your romantic life. Like, you can't say, oh, I wish that, I could find my ideal soulmate, and then, you're hiding in your room swiping and, on social media all day. Like, you got to put yourself in I fucking hate when people don't yield to pedestrians. Like, the shit's just rude. It's just fucking rude. And then there were fire trucks. So my point is what? I didn't even know that this is... Come on, fire trucks, let's go. Everyone gets all fucking nervous when it comes to fire trucks and police. All right. So, if you want to meet people, if you want to get back out there and dip your toe in the dating pond, you have to make yourself available, okay? You can't play scared and then expect the universe to reward you with, like, sort of scenarios that require you to be brave, if that makes sense. Like, you just gotta get out there. Even if it fucking scares you, you gotta get out there. If you're looking for a place to live, if you're, tired, like, for me, like, am I so grateful that my parents allowed me to move back in with my fucking tribe until I find somewhere to live? Like, for example, I can sit and cry all day about how I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to move out. But the reality is, I'm not ready to move out, because I know financially right now, that's not a viable option. So I can talk the talk, but I'm not walking the walk right now. But I know for a fact that when I get some coins stacked in that fucking bank account, and I know for a fact that the minute I really start looking intentionally for somewhere to live, something's going to come up, regardless of whether I messed up my credit, regardless of whether or not my rental history got marred because of, recent circumstances. Like, I know for a fact that when I'm in a position financially, that I will be able to find a place to live, and that, 3, 4, 5 months from now, I'm going to look back and I don't really know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to look back and cry, if I'm going to look back and fucking laugh, because this, every minute it's something different. But anyway, and you know what? I'm sitting here talking to you, and I'm so fucking grateful because I'm already in the city, and I really kind of want to take this off so I can show you. I don't know how safe this is, but just bear with me, okay? So this is Constitution Avenue. Okay, hold on. All right. I wish I could, okay. So I don't really know what building that is. So so DC has 4 quadrants, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest. And so the majority of the monuments and such. Okay, so on the left side of Constitution Avenue, I wish I could tell you what things were. I've only been living here. Okay, I'm gonna turn you around. Okay, so this is the mall, the National Mall, the big old pencil. You can't really see it because of the trees. If you were to continue going forward, the newly built African American, or the Museum of African American History, which I have yet to visit, but I'm so excited. The Daughters of the American Revolution is coming up. Oh, here we go. I hope you can see it. Can you see the big old pencil up in the sky? So this is my turn, 18th Street. So DC set up like a grid. Let's see if you can see it. Oh, I wish you could see it. Goddamn trees. It's a grid. So it starts like, you know, so if I'm continuing, so right now I'm on Constitution, so this is 18th. If I continue forward, it'll be 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, and when it hits North Capitol Street, which is kind of like ground zero, we'll cross over into Northeast, and then it'll start at like First, and then the streets will go up, if that makes sense. Anyway, I can't believe I got into the city so fast. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. So I work, I guess we do last call at like 2:45, 3 o'clock, and I will probably be home around 5:30, because my partner, like, he's homeless. So as of late, we've been, I mean, honestly, I hate to say this shit, but, you know, between like hotel rooms and sleeping in the car and sometimes crashing at my house when, you know, when I'm able to pull that off. But like, that's where my motivation is, because like this shit right here, like dumping all your money into hotels, man, that shit gets expensive really, really fucking fast. And thank God now, like these motels, they allow you to bring your dogs, because I don't know what I would do if that weren't an option. I mean, that shit would be terrible. So anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to see you all again. I hope that there are some things that I said that maybe stuck with you, and you know, if anything, it doesn't hurt to try. I'm sending you my love and my affection, and you know, again, if you have any questions, or if you need to talk, chat, you know, you can find me on Instagram at SirenbellaSays, or you can shoot me a DM or an email, or leave a comment down below. But all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, I'm wishing you $1 million, and wish me $1 million back. Take care.